Hello, hello, hello. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you who decided to come out this evening and join me as I present the Princess Secrets Show. I am your hostess, Norma Bryant Howard, and I'm coming to you all the way on the East Coast. I live all the way over, I guess they would call that Gateway to the South, which is in the state of Kentucky. But thank you so very much for coming out and joining us this evening because I got a power packed show. You're going to really, truly enjoy it. And I'm coming to you live tonight from Studio 2020. But I'd like for you to do me a big, big, big favor right now. I'd like for you right now to tag at least five of your friends. I don't care if it's male or female. Could you please tag at least five or six or maybe even 10 if you have the time, and tag your friends and let them know that we're on tonight. And also please join my YouTube channel and absolutely push that like button and that share button. I really, really would appreciate that if you do that for me tonight. So, like I said, we got a power packed show, got a dynamic young lady who's coming on, and I have just been smiling all week long because I have been so excited. Because they call her a trendsetter, a go-getter. She's a visionary, and I call her an amorous young lady. She's just got it going on, and like I said, you're going to meet her in just a few minutes. And this young lady that's coming on the Princess Secret Show, she's also an author. She is an author. She has written 7 books. She'll even teach you how to write a book. If you are interested in writing a book, she does that for people also. So she's written 7 books. She's a motivational speaker. She is a consultant. I mean, she's just all of that. Everything just sort of wrapped up into one. But she decided a long time ago. She said, if I have all of these skills, I have all these talents, and I'm, just letting people know that I'm here and I'd like to help them in whatever situation they may be in. But she said in her mind, she was saying, but there's one thing that after accomplishing all this, one thing that I will not extinguish, and that would be my love flame. And we're going to talk about what that love flame is in just a few minutes. The love flame, it's that little flame that most romantics, and she is a romantic, and I think I am a romantic also, but it's that little romantic thing that you have in your heart where you're saying, I don't care of any of the adversities that I've been through in life. I don't care if I've been rejected in life. That R word, can destroy a lot of ladies' souls. So I don't care if I've been rejected. I'm still not going to extinguish my love flame. And some ladies will extinguish it after this one bad experience. One bad experience will set them on a bad path of relationships for the rest of their lives. And some ladies will even say, "That's it. I'm finished with men. I don't want to have anything else to do with them." But she's going to talk to us about that, and not about letting your love flame go out. Not letting that love flame go out at all. So, without further ado, I would like to bring Miss Tanya on right now because this young lady, she's charming, she's endearing, she is delightful. I've known her for a number of years. So, at this time, right now, I would like to introduce you to Miss Tanya White.
Hello, Miss Norma.
Hello, hello, hello.
Let
How
me get my
are
hair.
you this evening?
I
How,
am wonderful.
oh,
Wonderful to be here.
well, I am just thrilled to have you here on the Princess Secret Show. Been trying for a long time, and to have you on here. And when I asked her to be on the show, I had a script in my mind. And I was going to be giving her the reasons why she should be on here. And I had this script. And all the while I'm trying to come out with the script, she said, "Oh, I'd be delighted." But I didn't hear that. I just kept going on with the script and why you need to be on here. And she said again, "I would love it. I'd be delighted." And that's when I stopped and said, "What did you say?" That's how I got her. That is how I got her. And like I said, you're going to enjoy Miss Tanya this evening. And everybody that is visiting with us tonight, I'd like for you to go to the comments section, and you can maybe ask a question, make a comment, or just whatever you feel, like you want to do for tonight. But we're going to ask Miss Tanya just to introduce herself to the viewers. Who is Tanya White?
Tanya White. I'm born and bred in Louisville, Kentucky, about to make a move to Indianapolis after being in Louisville for 50 years. I just turned 50 in December.
Yay.
I am the oldest of Joe and Irma White, and Miss Norma knew me before I was born.
Absolutely. Because I knew her parents. I knew her parents.
Absolutely. And it's ironic because she came up to me, she's like, "Are you Joe White's daughter?" And I couldn't deny it because I look just like my daddy.
Absolutely.
But I am, I just finished 20 years with Jefferson County Public School. The last 7 was a school counselor, and my last day was this week because I'm relocating. Been in education, loved it. And I'm also an author, a writer, a coach, and I just love helping people become the person that they're scared to be.
Oh, I like that. I really do like that. Well, when we get to the very end of the program, I would like for you perhaps to just maybe show one of your books and tell us a little bit about that at the very end. But right now, we're going to try to get into Tanya White. Okay, here goes the first question. Okay. All right. And this one might be maybe a little difficult question for you to answer, but just answer as best you see fit. Okay. All right. Here we go. Have you ever had any not so good relationships? I'm going to give you an example. After my divorce, I was introduced to a gentleman, and he just immediately, we went on a date, and he immediately rejected me. The R word, which may not be a bad word. Some ladies think it's a bad word. And the reason why he rejected me is because he said, "You just talk too proper." And my only comment was, I do what? I was confused. You just talk too proper. So I'm going to ask that question to you again. Have you ever been in any not so good relationship? Maybe some weirdo said something strange to you like that. Can you tell us maybe about just one of those instances that you've experienced in your life?
Absolutely. I'm a daddy's girl through and through. My daddy was a great father, provider, husband. Came from Hopkinsville, never turned back, and his dream was to have a family, and we did family things. He exposed us to so much, but things that I felt comfortable with, that I knew he was always there. I never lacked for anything, and he always encouraged, empowered, and built us up. And so that was my framework of a man. So, like when people say, "Yeah, you look for men who are like your dad." Absolutely. So I'm looking for men who are a good provider, who are strong, who know what they want, and they wanted a family. Unfortunately, society has changed. There are many stereotypes. The media portrays so much, and so people buy into that. And then we don't heal from our past. So I met men, and like you said, yours said you talk too proper. I always had, you don't need a man, because I knew what I wanted. I was very goal oriented. Not to say that's a bad thing, but because I had goals of my own, and I had expectations of what I wanted in relationship, and I was going to get it. I often heard, "You don't need a man," because in their limited scope, and that's why I love what you said, sometimes rejection is great. In their limited scope, needing a man was having a man to bail you out financially, to be up under you all the time, and to rescue you for the sake of rescuing you. And so I'm not that type of person. My dad, and that was something that's still ingrained in my head. my dad said, until you get married, I'm the only man that should be providing for you financially. So when he left this earth, I transfer that to my heavenly Father, because in his philosophy is that is my responsibility. Until you are connected to a man who's your husband, I am your provider. And so I was never the type that and I've never had to struggle. Anytime I was in financial straits, it was because irresponsibility, not because of things I couldn't control. So I was never the type of girlfriend saying, I need this, I need you to get my nails done, I need this, I want you to buy me this. No, I was never that type. I'm one for conversation, communication, and your presence. And so, yeah, most of my relationships, because it was not what the norm was used to of a man. It was, you don't need a man. So
right. Absolutely. Well, I like that. I really do like that. So you, in other words, I came up with this word last night, and it was the word wilderness. So it sounds like, you were not in the wilderness, because some ladies are in the wilderness and they're maybe just trying to get through, and they don't know where they are. They have no direction. They have no goals. They have no self-esteem, and you have very high self-esteem. So you were never going through that wilderness experience like so many ladies are. Because in my book, Prince Charming, Where Are You? Let's see if I got that there right.
Yes.
Prince Charming, Where Are You? In my book, some ladies get so desperate. A man can almost sense a desperate woman while she's out there going through her wilderness experience, and she may as well have a neon sign around her neck that says, "I need a man. I'm lonely. I'm going through my wilderness experience, and somebody, can you please get me out of the wilderness?" And I know you have met ladies like that before. Am I correct?
Now, I've been that lady, even though I had my dad. Especially after he died, you kind of lose a part of who you are. So I went through that stage of trying to find my dad and have that male connection, because my dad, I was used to the male voice in my life. And so when he died, I was looking for that male voice, and I gravitated to just the male. And not a man of substance, a man who liked to communicate, but I was latching on to just the any male who would just show me a little bit of time. Because after my dad died, I also gained weight, because I was going through, at that time I didn't know I was going through depression. So I had self-esteem issues, body issues, and I was just gravitating towards anybody. So, no, we all go through our wilderness. Absolutely. As men and women. We go through different, but yes. And then, after so long, you do have an aha moment, and then it's a choice whether you're going to listen to that aha moment, especially when you say, I've been doing this same thing year after year, day after day, expecting different results and getting the same results. So I had that aha moment, and had to go through some self-reflection, some therapy, and I'm gonna say it again, therapy.
Yes.
With a wise counselor and therapist to help you reconcile some of those traumatic and painful experiences in your past that are present in your present and going to damage your future. And so I had to go through that, especially after my dad died, then my mom died. So I was really like, oh goodness, I'm an orphan. And so I had to go through discovering, okay, what I wanted to do, who I am without them. And then what is my next step? So I had that aha moment at 35.
Right. Well, did you ever have any girlfriends who tried to give you dating advice? Has that ever happened?
Absolutely. And I was that girlfriend who gave bad dating advice.
Trying to give advice.
Oh my goodness.
Was that you?
Yes. I was a girlfriend, and I was listening to girlfriends who gave me advice. And that's one thing in the female world that we think we do. and we're supposed to do, is give other females advice on men. And I've learned the best advice on how to deal with a man is to go to the man that you're having a conflict with and listen. Listen to what he says and what he doesn't say. And then take him at his word. And so that's why when we listen to bad advice, or because I won't say bad advice, just advice that were shaped in hurtful and painful situations. When we're in pain, especially when we see somebody else living in a relationship we want to, we have a microscope and we try to get them to see the negative, because we don't want them to be happy, because misery loves company.
Absolutely.
And so we try to find a microscope, not knowing the full scope. First of all, you don't know why God brought them together, what is really going on, and why they are together. So sometimes you just need to shut your mouth.
Right. Absolutely.
Be happy and be present when things, when somebody is struggling or things are going wrong, and when things are going right, celebrate that.
Right, because there are a lot of ladies who don't want to see you happy.
Yeah,
that.
Because,
there are a lot
because our families are female ran. Now, when I look at most of the families, like I said, I'm in education. Most of our kids are coming from female-only homes. So the only males that they see or hear about are negative perceptions of the male.
Right.
And they just see that a man is not there. They don't know the full scope of why he's not there. Mama's just saying your daddy's not here, or your granddaddy's not here, or he's nothing, he's this and he's that. And so in their minds, they got a framework. And so when that person grows up, female, men are nothing, or men are always going to leave you, or you got to do this to keep a man, and you got to do that to keep the woman happy. So it's totally, we got distorted views.
Well, did you take advice? Did you ever take advice from any of these women?
Absolutely. I didn't know what
that's good advice, because one time they were rejected and they said, girl, all men, and you've heard this, all men are dogs.
All dogs.
All men are dogs. And women will say that and will buy into that. And because she had a bad experience with her relationship does not mean that you would have a bad relationship with your experience. And sometimes they give us bad advice.
And that's what we need to, when I say I had to go reflect and get some therapy, because whatever it takes, we constantly hear from those that we spend the most time with is what's programmed in our mind. And what's programmed in our mind, we start acting out. And so I'm not saying that my past relationships that I didn't have great men, but I pushed those great men away because I was thinking negative. Okay, so you ain't called me, so you with somebody else. No, he's working. When a real man says I'm working, he is working.
He is working.
When a real man says I'm tired and I'm asleep, he's tired and he's asleep. And so that's why you have to really look at the advice and where the advice is coming from. Is it coming from a place of hurt, bitterness, unforgiveness? And if it is, you need to, first of all, not internalize that, set boundaries, and start, living and speaking what you want. And that's what I learned from therapy. It took me a long time, and you have to change your perspective and give things another try.
Right. And that self-talk is so, you can go either way. It can go, it can be so wonderful, and that self-talk, I know that I'm a worthy woman. I know God loves me. God's got somebody in my life plan for me. Oh, it can be wonderful. But you flip that coin over and it can destroy you, because you're getting up in the morning and I'm miserable. I hate myself. No man wants me. I don't, I'm having a miserable life.
Oh my God.
It's like that. But you decided, even through your adversities in life, that you are not going to extinguish that love flame, that you are definitely not going to, because like I said, I know you, and I know in your heart that you are a romantic. But
I'm a hopeful romantic because I saw my daddy and my mama, and that big brown man loved him some. That my mama, he might not, he loved her, and
right.
And I saw it how they built a family and how they, they didn't come from the best backgrounds, but they knew they wanted a marriage, they wanted a family, and they made it work.
And they made it work. Well, to our viewers out there, and you are a coach, what can you say about a man and a female being in a relationship? And when it comes to the art of communication, how important is the art of communication between these two people? Can you give the viewers your viewpoint on the art of communication and why? And hopefully, you think it's important.
It is very important. And you have to, first of all, understand that people communicate differently. After so many years, I'm finally in a very healthy, monogamous, growing relationship with a wonderful man. And even though we talk a lot, we laugh a lot, we still communicate differently. And so, whereas I'm like I said, I'm a counselor, so I'm always going deep. I'm asking the question behind the question, because I'm trying to get to the root of people's things. Right. Well, my honey is not like that. He's a social worker, and we have to communicate that. He's like, when you ask me question after question, I know you're trying to see what's wrong. He's like, but when I tell you an answer, that's all I want. He's like, I don't want you to go no deeper. I'm like, okay. Thank you for telling me that, because that's who I am. I'm trying to get to the root, because I know at the root it's going to be a change, but sometimes it just is what it is. Right. And you got to accept that, and you got to accept what people's boundaries and expectations are in communication at face value, and not become paranoid and try to create this whole dramatic situation. I want to go back to what you said about the self-talk is so important. Yeah, we can have positive self-talk. I had positive self-talk for years. I'm a coach, I'm a counselor, but it's in the, after the positive self-talk, you got to act. And so what I found myself doing, that's what my therapist brought. I was like, I was going to turn 48, and I was excited to turn 50. And she's like, what do you want your life to look like? I said, well, I want to be in a healthy relationship leading to marriage, blah, blah, blah. And she said, okay, so what are you doing to achieve that? What do you mean?
Wow.
I'm being myself. No, she's like, no, what are you doing to meet men and go on dates until you find out? I was like, and then that churchism came out. He found the wife, found the good thing. He's going to find me. Well, no, she's like, no, he's not. You got to position yourself to go places. And one thing she said, she is a pastor and a preacher and also a therapist. She said, don't limit your social outings to church. She's like, you got to go to a dance, go to a club, go to sporting events, go to where men are, and still live your life, but go. Every man you meet is not going to lead to a relationship. That's one thing. It's just sometimes you meet men too. So as you going through, you're healing and you're learning, retraining your mind that there are good men out there. And that's what I had to do. When I met the guy I'm in a relationship with now, it was 2 weeks after I thought I was going to be with somebody else, and he ghosted me. And so, had I been bitter and said, all men are this and all men are that, then I would never been open when he approached me. And we met on a dating site. And so had I been like, I'm through with this dating site, blah, 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 I wouldn't be where I am now. And he is one of the most honest and helpful, not just men that I've been with, but people that I met in my life. And so you have to be open. Yes, the self-talk is good, but you have to be open. When it happens, you got to act, and you got to check yourself sometimes. So I'm glad that I checked myself and didn't have bitterness because I got ghosted by somebody else that, I was like, I spent almost a month and invested time. Well, the Lord said, no, didn't you pray to me? You say, that wasn't the one. And so just be open and do not take the old stuff from the old relationship and
take it
direct it to them.
into the new. Absolutely.
And he had to learn to do the same thing. He had to learn to do the same thing.
Right. So you were just open to the prospect of finding this, and it's, you know, we talk about Prince Charming, finding this Prince Charming, and he just appeared in your life, and no bitterness. You know, we can't take yesterday's events into today and tomorrow's happenings in life, and a lot of ladies, they carry around a lot of bitterness, and I meet them all the time. They carry around a lot of bitterness, and some are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and who knows, maybe even in their 80s, and they're carrying around a lot of bitterness in their lives. Okay, so what do you think impresses a man about a woman? You know, is it because she does something special? She looks a certain way, she talks a certain way, she's just, you know, just a little bit, you know, into him. Just what is it? What do you think? Just tell me a few things.
That's why I say, when you want to know what a man wants, you ask men. And so I'm like I said, I had the male voice in my life, so I've always been able to talk to men. And so I asked my brother, I've asked other men, and asked my honey. That's what I got. Basically, he said what drew him to me was, first of all, my smile.
Did you hear, excuse me, ladies, did you hear that? Write that down. Her smile.
And literally his opening line was like, "Oh my, OMG, what a beautiful smile." And like I said, we met on a dating site. So he's like, "Why are you in Kentucky?" And I was like, he lives in Indianapolis. I was like, "Oh, we're not that far away." And that was, you know, it was an unusual OMG, blah, blah, blah. And so if you were looking for some, you know, some fantasy or dream opening, sometimes we get all these movie lines in our head that can block us too. So like I said, you got to take people in their communication. And so when he said that, I was like, oh my God, because he has a beautiful smile too. So we just had that banter back. So he said a smile. I knew how to hold a conversation.
Okay.
And a conversation. Not just words. No.
I heard the lady talking about soap operas. No man wants to hear about your soap operas that you watch or your reality shows.
No. Conversation about who we are, how we get, you know, because he's almost 60. I was going to turn 50. So about life, how we get to where we are, and then telling our past experiences without being judgmental and taking those insecurities. And so especially ladies, if you're dating a man who has been married and divorced a couple of times, you can't be judgmental about that. You don't know what happened in that divorce. And I just want you to know, ladies, men have feelings too. They hurt, they cry, they are scared of rejection. They are scared of relationships not working, especially if they really like you and they've already, like in their mind, and they do this too, already seen themselves with you. They're scared of that. And so stop listening to ladies of like, if a man really wants you, he gonna do this. Not every man.
That's right.
Men are scared. If a man really wants you, he's gonna make it known. He in his mind, he's trying to process how he's going to approach you. And in his process, all that rejection that we deal with, he's dealing with too. And he's got to work through that too. And what men don't talk about with their boys, they don't talk about their feelings in relationships. Right. So they don't have an out. So they're internalizing all that. So you got to be patient and you got to listen to what they say and accept them. And then you got to get rid of your own insecurities. It's very scary today, especially a man who has been married and divorced, and he's older. You have to deal with those insecurities because we do this. I did it in the beginning. Am I living up? Am I doing some things that his ex-wife did? Blah, blah. But like he always lets me know, and I say this, a real man would always tell you the truth, whether he's not trying to make you feel good. He's trying to let you know where everything stands with you and the relationship. And I do know a real man, if he will express. He may only say it once, and he may not say it again. But when he says he wants to be with you, he wants to be with you. And then his actions will back it up. He will make room in his life for you.
Right. Ladies, I hope you all have been taking some incredible notes, because this young lady, I mean, she's, as they would say in the church, she's preaching the gospel to you tonight. She's preaching the gospel to you tonight. And I mean, we're just learning a lot about her. And I just want to ask Tanya, you said you were 50 years old, and she certainly doesn't look it. I've known her. I knew her before she was born. She wasn't in the world when I met her, and she said she's 50. But let me ask you this question: what would you tell? You're 50. What would you tell the 25-year-old Tanya? What would you tell with all this experience that you have now? What kind of advice would you give the 25-year-old Tanya, who has gone through all these 50 years and relationships and all kind of men, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly? So what kind of advice would you give the 25-year-old Tanya?
And look, I'm going to tell you, my answer is going to be a plug for my book. That yes, I am enough. I am good enough. I am beautiful enough. I am intelligent enough. I'm attractive enough. I'm qualified enough. All those enough isms that you hear that you're not, I would tell 25-year-old Tanya, yes, you are enough, because you are created in the image of God, and God did not make junk. And so those are 4 words I would tell my 25-year-old self. Yes, you are enough. Because when I learned this, my life, like the trajectory of my life changed. And I just wrote this book in 2018. So it took me a long time. But when I was sitting up in my bed and I just shouted, yes, I am enough. Because the world will bring you down. The world will try to tell you what you're not. Workplace will try to demean you, and it's all a mental warfare. And you start asking yourself, am I enough? Am I good enough? Am I this? All the enough isms. But yes, you are enough. Genesis 1:26 through 29. That is the basis for letting you know that you are enough, because you were created in the image of God. God took time to create you just the way you are. So that's what I would tell my 25-year-old self. Yes, I am enough.
Yes, you are enough, because as you said, and I like what you just said, because other people in this world will tear you down. And it doesn't really start, you know, when you're 25. I mean, like my granddaughter is like 13 years old and having some issues, getting ready to go to the 8th grade, and you know, and she even has issues with friends at her age, you know, because you know, and females especially. And here it is across the screen. That's the name of the book. Yes.
And one day I will make a teenage version, because that is. And one thing with your daughter, I know she's a daddy's girl, so she's confident. She's provided for. So that's a certain aura that women who have, you know, dads present in their life.
Yes, a very present dad.
Yes, we my dad was very active in my life. And my friends used to say, "Why is your daddy everywhere?" And I was like, "What do you mean? That's what he's supposed to be." My daddy was over the PTA. He was at everything at school. He just showed up at school. I was used to that. And so there's a certain confidence that you don't know this until people start becoming jealous and saying it's like, oh, but my daddy said this. And then you just run to daddy. So yes, she will continue to have those, but trust me, she's gonna get through it.
Right. Getting ready. Just got out of the 7th grade, and you know, and she's been brought to tears a couple of times by her 7th grade friends. And you know, and my daughter and I just have to talk her through. We just have to talk her through that. And you know, you think that it's only for grown women, but I think it starts, especially with females, it starts real early in life.
It starts real early, because
it definitely starts real early in life. Okay, now what could you tell women who give too much too soon? I mean, there are lots of ladies who just give, I have in my book about the lady who was, she had been to the Cordon Bleu School of Cooking, and she came out and just laid everything out. And in my book, I said, don't let them know that you're that, because they, that you're a chef, because perhaps they're going to expect for you to be their personal chef. And I know ladies who give too much too soon. They meet him, at a week's time, they're just going to move in with him after the first week. They, I'm going to be his personal chef. I'm going to redesign his home. I do know a lady who actually redesigned this guy's house and redesign him because he was dressed in one style, and she decided, I just don't like how he's dressing. So I'm going to go over to Macy's and I'm going to buy him the clothes I want him to wear.
Wow.
Just speak to that for just a moment about these ladies who just do, I say, just too much too soon, and when I say too soon, I mean less than 2 to 3 weeks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that goes back to knowing who you are, doing that self-work. When you were saying that, the movie Two Can Play That Game automatically came up in my mind. And I love that movie with Vivica Fox and Morris Chestnut. And it was all about relationships and each one playing a game. And so, but it was one of the big movies of the early 2000s. And so a lot of people play that game, and then we go back to the distorted advice that we receive from other people. Girl, you better do this to keep a man. You better do that. I've learned through a healthy relationship, and I used to be that one doing too much too soon. But when you get the right woman and the right man, then this is for the males too. When you get the right woman, you won't have to be Superman and save her from anything because she's in a desperate situation. You won't have to do that. Women, when you get the right man, he won't allow you to do that, especially in his home. I have to ask Stephanus, I have to ask him if I can cook because he's been used to doing all the cooking and he likes to cook. And so when I'm over at his house, he wants me to feel as comfortable as I can and relax. He like really washes away all the work demands, all the home demands. He wants me to be at peace. And so he makes his environment, when I come over, his environment is already peaceful because he's that peaceful person. But he makes it so that he wants me to know that he values me. He wants me around, not because of what I do for him, but because of who I am. And that he likes where we are. And he's always talking about, and you have to listen. That's why I say, ladies, you got to listen to what they say and how in their actions, because they will show you and they have to align. He's always making room. He's always talking about me and including us as a part of the future and building the future. So when you have to perform instead of just be, that is a sign that that's not the right person. When you always have to do, and this is for the men too, when you always have to, and I hate when men say, oh yeah, we met and she was talking about she needed money for this, needed money to pay your bills. And I always tell them, if she hadn't met you, what would she do?
How would she get those bills paid?
How would she get those bills paid?
How would she get those nails done?
How would she? Now, if you can't afford to pay your needs, then honey, a real woman is not going to just for her greeds and her wants. A real woman is going to handle her business and make sure she's financially responsible. And if she can't get her nails done at the salon, we'll get that little emery board and file our nails and do it ourselves because we're trying to build something. A real one. I don't know why I'm talking about the men, but men have relationship pitfalls too. And so you don't have to save a woman. You want somebody to add to the table. And she's not there yet, give her the space to get there without you. And if y'all meant to be, y'all will come together. But do not allow somebody to be a burden on you. That's what I want to say. If you're in a relationship where it is burdensome financially, emotionally, or you always have to wonder where they are, that's not
no good.
Especially after a certain age. Like I said, I'm 50 and he's going to turn 60. when we met, we both said, we don't know how to date at this age. I said, I just really want to go back to where you say, when you put on a piece of paper, I like you. Do you like me? Check yes or no. And when he wanted to make it official, we was out at Red Lobster, and he had the waitress bring over on a napkin, Tanya, I like you. Do you like me? Check yes or no. I said, oh.
I love it. I love it.
So the person you're supposed to be with will listen to you. They won't try to change what they don't like about you. They want you to evolve, and they want to be that positive force in your life to help you get to where you get to. But they won't try to change you because they don't like something that you do. And so, yes, you're gonna have tough times in the beginning stages, getting to know each other. But what I tell women, and I want to tell women, especially at a certain age, do not just give it up because of some dream or fantasy you have in your mind. Well, he didn't do this, and he must not like me. No, that's not it. Maybe he don't know. Don't you know he's been through bad relationships as well, and he's been programmed to do certain things. So when y'all talk about it, and he says, "Oh, okay, I didn't know," or when he tells you what his expectations are, because I had to learn when he's watching sports or watching a movie, he doesn't like any talking. I can talk and watch a movie.
Oh, right, absolutely. That's right.
He's like, sweetie, I'm watching a movie. We're gonna miss something if we keep talking. I'm thinking, hey, can't we talk and watch the movie? No. So we found a happy medium. He'll let me talk. I'll take a pause. We'll talk. So it's just like, so sometimes I remember in other relationships, oh, you trying to get smart? Oh, you don't like what? Well, I don't need you. Okay.
That's
and
right.
Then home
Or sit there and pout.
Oh, and a real man and a real woman would say, you know what? You because I tried that pouting in the beginning. He's like, you can go ahead and pout. That's fine. And I'm like, wait a minute. Or he gave me what I was giving him, pouting and not speaking, because women, we good for that. Not speaking until he did it to me. And I'm like, you're not speaking to me? He's like, oh, it don't feel good, does it? I'm like, no, it don't. It really don't. So ever since he gave me what I did, I was like, So that's where you growing and you talking, you working out the kinks, and then you are treating each other the way you not only want to be treated, but the way God wants you to treat each other and grow and mesh even more together.
Oh, I tell you, this has been an awesome experience. Just, viewers, I could just listen to Tanya talk all night. She's so good. Tanya is so good. And I'm just so thrilled that I got the nerve up to make that call. And, I had the script. I said I had the script in my head. Can you be? But she's just a delight. And we just I've learned a lot from her. And she is a professional counselor, worked with JCPS for many years. So she has, and what I'd like for her to do right now, we're going to try to wind it down for a second or two, but what I'd like for her to do is just tell you what she does and how she can help you. She has a business and how she can help you. And I just enjoy going to her website, just looking at all her pictures and things that she is going across the bottom of the screen right now.
Yes.
I enjoy watching and looking at her website, and she even does a newsletter. And has done a lot, has met, a lot of, I think you met Bernadette. You can help me out from Good Times.
Yes, Thelma from Good Times. That's when I had my blog talk show. And called Real Talk with Tanya White. It was just I wanted to do a radio show, and it was years ago, and that was when Blog Talk was popular, and you could just call people's publicists and say, hey, I got a radio show now. You have to have your stuff together. But I've interviewed Thelma from Good Times. I've interviewed Nene Leakes, and when she was like the first and second season, she was on there. Lisa Ray was on the show twice. That was my favorite guest because she is really down to earth. just a whole lot of people. But it was all coming. That's something that was at that season in my life was the next step. Right now, I'm focusing on writing, not only for myself, but helping inspiring authors to complete their manuscript and actually publish their book. Because how many times have you said, I want to write a book, or God's given me a book? And I've heard that from clients. How many years? It took me years to write a book. So, but now my focus is, we're going to work together, pull out of you. My first focus is to help coach you and encourage you that you can. You can do it. Because when I was author at the time, both my parents were deceased. Nobody that I knew in my family or friends, for that matter, or in Louisville, were authors. Basically, this is back in 2005. So to see a Black Louisvillian author, I can't.
Unheard of. It was unheard of.
I can't recall. So I had to reach out. I just knew I wanted to write a book. So I got a coach. Valerie Burton was my coach, and she was a godsend. And she encouraged and empowered me to not only write, but to finish writing my book and publish it. And 7 books later, I've done that, and I've helped clients. And I even ghostwrite for people who, you may have an idea, but you may not have the craft of writing. Right. And so what we do is interview, and I ask you questions, and we'll collaborate what your book is about. And then I ask you questions about each chapter, tape it, and then I'll write it from your voice.
Oh my God. So I mean, that is such incredible information that you're giving the viewers out tonight, because people have asked me on numerous occasions, and I have never helped anybody, just for myself. I was kind of pleased that I was able to accomplish the goal for myself. But
how many years I said, Miss Warmer, come on, let's go.
Yes.
When I got that book, I was like, yes.
So inspiring. So to the audience there, make sure her name is on the screen. Her website is scrolling across the bottom, and make sure that you get in contact with her. Show that book one more time, Tanya.
So this is the first installment of Yes, I Am Enough. Yes, and then I wrote Yes, I Am Enough, the next level. Loving, living, and sharing your enoughness. Because first you got to know that you're enough. Then you got to love it, live it, and share it with others. And so there will be another installment. Like I'm saying, I'm praying about what it is. It may be for the young people. But there will be.
They need it. They need it with everything that they're going through. They need it.
Absolutely. Yes. And I want to encourage y'all. Look, I know y'all think Tanya White, she's an encourager. But listen, if you call me from services, just know that when you go to Macy's and you want that outfit and you want it bad, there is a exchange of monetary dollars, right? You don't go to Macy's and say, "Ooh, God told me to get these pair of shoes or this suit, and I really want it." And Macy's says, "We're gonna let you have it for free." Macy's doesn't do that. Have they ever done that to you? So when you come to Tanya White, just know there is an investment, because I am the firm believer that anything you pay for, you cherish more. Yes, so call me. Yes, call me and I'll tell you. But just know that there's going to be a cost. And I've been doing this for 16 years now. Yes, 16 years. I'm very experienced.
I'm glad you put credentials as a tagline at the very end, and it's absolutely wonderful. So I have enjoyed having you on.
I've enjoyed myself.
And I mean, you are a great conversationalist who is full of knowledge.
Well, you know my parents. And I'm not the product of my parents, Miss Norma. You knew my parents, so
absolutely. Yes, I did.
They were conversationalists as well. Yes. So I got it honestly.
That's right. You got it honestly. You really did. So on that note, we're going to wind down for this evening. And I just like to say, is there any concluding words you'd like to say tonight before we switch the channel and go somewhere else for the evening, catch a little sunshine before the sun goes down?
Yes, I just want to say, Miss Norma, I'm so proud of you. When I saw this, I said, Miss Norma is on Facebook and doing a live show. And so I'm so proud of the Princess Secret show. Continued success. And like I said, anytime you need me, I'm here.
Okay, all right. Well, I thank you, thank you, thank you. And one of my really good friends, I think you know her, Rosemary Chambers, also from JCPS.
Yeah.
She said very inspiring, and yes, you are. You
Oh,
are very,
thank
very,
you.
very, very inspiring. Young lady, you definitely are. So I just thank everyone that tuned in this evening to see Miss Tanya White on the Princess Secret show. And I may be tapping before the year is over. I may be tapping her on her shoulder again, saying, Tanya, would you like to be a guest again on my show? So I
Well, I
like
got
to.
like 3 more clients coming out this year with
Oh,
great
wow.
books. And so I will send them your way. Because when we talk about the Princess Secrets, it's more than relationships. You gotta get your money right.
Yeah,
You gotta get that
absolutely.
forgiveness together.
Right.
So I got some clients for you that will be great. And so I will send that to you as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I certainly thank you so very much for that. And see what I mean, audience, she's wonderful. She's wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful, sweet young lady. Love her. So with that being said, we're going to say good evening. I want to let my audience know that I do come on again every Friday night, and this is my 57th show tonight with Tanya, 57th show. And I'm just so very delighted that God has allowed me to do it straight through the pandemic. But we come on every Friday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and those 2 time zones in between. So the world is opening up again. We're just going to pray that everything gets better and better than it is right now. And if you need that mask, put that mask on, get that vaccine, and we're going to just have a wonderful time this summer. So once again, I'd like to say thank you for visiting with me on the Princess Secret Show. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.